Tonight, the United Opposition Alliance has called for a boycott of all institutions, services and institutions linked to President William Ruto and his allies for the blood of innocent Kenyans shed by what the opposition described as hostile regime. The opposition has further termed Monday's violence and killings as state-sponsored, accusing the state of using militia to target the Mount Kenya community and their businesses. Apollo Kamau with the details of that.
In the wake of Sabasaba protests that left scores dead and businesses in the Mount Kenya region destroyed, the United Opposition Alliance has condemned President William Ruto for using the protests to settle political scores with the Mount Kenya region, and now warns Kenyans to boycott all businesses associated with the president and his associates, terming the broad-based government as a hostile regime to Kenyans.
We therefore issue this call to action. 1. Boycott all businesses, services and institutions owned, operated or publicly linked to this regime and its enablers. We will publicize a list of shame and call on the public to share any information on businesses affiliated to this list of shame.
The opposition principals, with the exception of Kalonzo Musyoka, who was attending a case in court representing DCP party officials, say they have evidence that Monday's violence meted out on innocent protesters that left scores dead was sponsored by the state, operating under instructions from the president, and the goons who were used to burn and destroy businesses owned by businessmen from the region received police protection.
Early on Monday, July 7th, unmarked police vehicles transported state-sponsored militias to areas perceived as politically unfriendly to Ruto's regime, with instructions to loot, destroy specific businesses, and kill peaceful protesters. Specifically at Mount Kenya region, as was in 2023, as the Mio protest led by Raila Odinga, that the targets were members of the Luo community.
There is no one community that is indispensable in this country. This country cannot do without any one community. So the thought of any one group that they can annihilate one community and leave the country going forward is self-deception.
The opposition has now invited the International Criminal Court, ICC, to open investigations into the country's deadly chaos arising from past protests in which police officers have acted with impunity, and told President Ruto to forget dialogue in the face of state-sponsored bloodshed.
The regime has moved from repression to full-blown persecution. We put this regime on notice. The architects, enablers, financiers, and executors of this regime's violence will be held personally liable, both locally and internationally. The day of reckoning is coming. No badge, no title, and no political alliance will shield you from justice.
According to the opposition, the violence meted out on innocent protesters on Monday was state-sponsored and warrants the intervention of the International Criminal Court. Apollo Kamau, TV47 in Nairobi.